Welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start with the bad news that the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, appears to be overindulging again. How else does one explain this performance where she told CBS that Joe Biden is so good he deserves a place at Mount Rushmore, along the likes of Lincoln, Washington and Jefferson.
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. I want to know what comes next.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore, Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Mount Rushmore. She said there Biden was at the top of his game and among the most consequential presidents. Then why did she play a key part in the plot to remove him as the Democrats' nominee, even after he secured more than 14 million primary votes? Talk about threats to democracy. We will get back to the Democrats shortly, but first let's check in with one of our favourite trans activists explaining the science of dudes giving birth. Apparently, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Trans women getting pregnant is not as far off as you'd think. In the past 10 years, 50 babies have been born from a uterus transplant. So far, these implants have only been attempted on cis women, but there's nothing that says it couldn't work on a trans woman. After all, my hormone levels are pretty similar to a cisgender woman, so why not? The main thing in the way is that the science is new, so there aren't enough surgeons out there to do the testing. So it's less about if we can do it and more about when we can do it. Imagine a trans woman using her own DNA along with her partner's egg to create life. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Incredible? I have some other words I would have used. And we're also told by other trans activists that men identifying as women can have periods.
Once a month, trans women will experience what is known as a period. Some astute viewers might notice that most trans women don't have a uterus, let alone an ovaries or anything along the lines of that. But that doesn't change the fact that they are experiencing a period.
Look, I'm not sure why anyone wants to pretend to have a menstrual cycle when they clearly don't, but here's a reality check. If you don't have ovaries, you ain't getting periods. Now, back to the Democrats and their propaganda arm, the overwhelming majority of the media, who continue with their race obsessions. Here's former Democrat operative and now an ABC host, George Stephanopoulos, yelling at Byron Donalds. Here's another lefty losing it.
There were a lot of people who are trying to figure this out. But again, that's a side issue, not the main issue. The main issue...
Sir, 1 second. You just did it. You just did it again.
Of the United States.
Why do you insist on questioning her racial identity?
You want me to talk?
I want you to answer my question.
George, now that you're done yelling at me, let me answer.
Oh dear, there's about another 4 minutes of George losing it, asking about race and then getting upset when Byron Donalds answers his questions. White men yelling at black folk is, well, vintage Democrats, isn't it? And CNN have joined in. They sent out a reporter in a Michael Jordan T-shirt to a barber shop. And when the black workers there and the customers didn't give them the answers they wanted, well, a white dude on camera called them low information voters.
Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Well, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I heard she's half black and half Asian.
When I played that audio on my SiriusXM radio program on Thursday, many callers who self-identified as African-American were quick to tell me that those men were the exception, not the rule. Some described them as low-information voters, no different than you'd find among whites.
Amazing stuff there from CNN. And the same DEI enthusiasts who insisted that Joe Biden pick a black female Veep in 2020 are now outraged that Kamala Harris would be seen as a DEI pick.
Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate? What makes this so ugly is that it reveals a truth that is clearly broadly held within Republican circles. that white men, by definition, when they have a job, earned it and deserve it. And anybody but a white man is a DEI hire.
You know what? There are a growing number of people from all backgrounds, including plenty of black men, who know that DEI is not only racist, it's actually not good for them. It's often affluent white liberal women who are the biggest beneficiaries, like this white woman for Kamala.
Is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season.
That's Ariel Foda. She's not new to activism. Let's check in on some of her earlier work. And I'm going to warn you, this may be one of the most annoying people in the world.
Yeah, they just want to put a little warning sticker on your stove so that you know that it actually means methane gas. Yeah, the one making the world warmer. Yes, that is really happening. Can you catch a bubble, please? California has used stickers to warn people about chemicals for a long, long time, and the stickers are nothing to be afraid of, I promise. They just want people to know about the health impacts of burning gas so that we can be safer.
Oh, imagine being lectured to by that lady on the ills of the world. We should send that sort of footage down to Gitmo. Should probably be more effective than waterboarding.
And that's why they're saying that there should be more information so people can learn about that. Nobody is coming to take your stove. Do you want to sign this paper with me? Okay, let's do it. Learning new things is great. I'm glad you're not scared anymore.
Now to another painfully annoying lefty who brags about ruining a family gathering.
So I just got kicked out of a gender reveal party. Everybody's clapping, it's a boy, and I just happen to say, well, let's give it 10 years and see if it sticks. Grandma clutches her pearl. I'm leaving! The receipt's in the bag! I got them a pride onesie from Target.
And while we're on gender reveal parties, it's never too late to throw them. Here is a mum and dad throwing one for their son, who now identifies as their daughter. And have a look at just how happy the dad seems to be about all this. Alex Stein has been sparring with the young folk, some of them painfully woke and naive. Let's have a look.
People who aren't citizens can't vote.
Yes, they can.
No, they
in
can't.
Arizona,
Republicans made it illegal in 1995. Okay, no, you're right.
You don't think an illegal? Let me just say this: you don't think an illegal immigrant has ever voted in the federal election?
No, because it's not.
Oh
counted.
my God!
You know, actually, I disagree with that. I
you don't think no. This guy, the delegate guy, you're so smart. You don't think an illegal immigrant has ever voted in the presidential federal election?
Probably not.
Oh my God.
Let's have a look at the real Kamala. We know she's woke, but just how woke is she?
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. and you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty woke. In an interview with a Glamour magazine, she explained what caused her to be so woke.
There are some real silver linings about what this moment in time has done to maybe cause a lot of us to be woke. And I love it. I love it. But folks are woke, and I love it. I love it.
She loves it. You know what I love is what a chameleon Kamala is. I mean, she was raised in California and Canada, but she can go all southern and urban when in front of a mainly black crowd.
I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets, and let me tell you, as they say, they not like us.
Do I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
Oh, that was good. So good that it inspired this spoof. Yes, Kamala is Tropic Thunder.
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made her some crab apples. Put dessert now, yeah? Hey, yeah. Ha!
Oh, look, Kamala is very good, but she has some ways to go to reach Hillary levels of inauthentic.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
When it comes to Kamala, we have to overlook the style and look for that substance. She's an intellectual. We've seen her explain community banks, school buses, diplomacy, space travel, and here she explains cloud storage.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right? It's no longer in a physical place.
Now, we know the two biggest issues in America are inflation and the border crisis. Yes, cost of living pressures and record numbers of illegal immigrants coming in via that southern border are top of mind for voters in the coming presidential election. So let's hear now from the Democrat nominee on how she will handle those critical issues. Here she's asked about inflation.
What else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. Very seriously.
That's the woman they're presenting as an inspired, strong leader who can lead us all in the free world. And it gets considerably worse when it comes to illegal immigration. She's on the record supporting free healthcare for illegal immigrants, not even wanting the term illegal to be used. And she's even passionately defended those who pay human traffickers to bring them across the border. Like most neo-Marxists, she's at her core pro-open borders. She even sought to compare ICE, that's Immigration and Custom Enforcement, to the Ku Klux Klan. I wish I was kidding.
Well, the Klan was what we would call today a domestic terrorist group.
Why? Why would we call them domestic terrorist group?
Because they tried to use fear and force to change political environment.
And what was the motivation for the use of fear and force?
It was based on race and ethnicity.
Right. Are you aware of the perception of many about how the power and the discretion at ICE is being used to enforce the laws? And do you see any parallels?
I do not see any parallels between
I'm talking about perception.
Officers and agents.
I'm talking about perception.
I do not see a parallel between what is constitutionally mandated as it relates to enforcing the law.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
That puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
Oh, she wasn't done yet. That footage is from 2018, but Kamala was keen to drive the point home that ICE is akin to the KKK. Why? Because they enforce the law.
Are you aware of a perception that the way that the discretion
I see no parallel.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Are you aware that there's a perception that ICE is administering its power in a way that is causing fear and intimidation particularly among immigrants, and specifically among immigrants coming from Mexico and Central America.
We're about to delve into the twisted world of Kamala's Veep pick. But first, remember when Ricky Gervais told the Hollywood elite to not preach about politics? No one cares about their warped views. But sadly, they didn't listen. Here is Hollywood A-lister, Kamala fanboy, and lefty losing it, Ben Stiller.
And she's also a historic candidate. You know, it's going to be the first woman president. And that's incredibly exciting. And, you know, she's Indian, she's black, she's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. You know, I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black. Every white Jewish guy wishes he was black.
A Jewish comic blindly following a party with an anti-Semitic problem that runs so deep that Kamala didn't pick the, well, pretty much universally acknowledged best candidate, Josh Shapiro, who could have helped her secure the crucial state of Pennsylvania, where he is governor with a 60% approval rating. But he's Jewish, and that is a problem for the Democrats, one that even CNN acknowledged.
Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro is being discussed as one of Harris's potential running mates. He also endorsed her tonight. In your view, what are the pros and cons for putting him on the ticket?
Well, he's certainly under consideration. I know that from key Harris allies. He's a first-term governor. He's Jewish. There could be some risks in putting him on the ticket.
And right he was. It's clear that the squad, the Hamas wing of the party, is calling the shots. And did you notice Walz was not even on that list that they had up there? He wasn't one of the likely candidates. Even CNN thought he was too much of a socialist simpleton to be considered. Talking about simpletons, let's get back to Ben Stiller embarrassing himself.
I just want to let you know I'm going to match your $150,000 donation. Everybody's got to get out and vote and donate. Get out there and vote and donate and like take advantage. This is such an important time right now, and this wave of energy that's happening, we got to keep going with it. So please do everything you can.
Yes, Ben Stiller has gone full Kamala. Never go full Kamala. Why didn't you just listen to Ricky Gervais? His advice was sage.
Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg.
He told them, now to Kamala Harris, the media spin is in full swing from the Democrats' propaganda arm, but we keep unearthing the real Kamala.
And as a woman, there's a balance to be struck between being tough and being Turn that off.
She's so likeable, isn't she? Talking about likeable, let's take a look at Kamala's running mate, the man she has chosen to be the next vice president. And her campaign released this totally real and authentic video of that historic moment.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
You understand our country. You have dedicated yourself to our country.
He understands the country, the socialist governor of Minnesota, the man who put tampons in boys' restrooms in schools, who wants to allow teens and tweens to access medical transitioning of their gender, who backed the BLM riots even as they destroyed Minneapolis and beyond, and who changed Minnesota's flag to look a lot like the Somali flag, but they swear that's just a coincidence. Minnesota is home to the largest Somali population in the US, another coincidence obviously. And this is also the man who has pledged to provide massive ladders so illegal immigrants can climb any wall that Trump may build.
You know, he talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
And he's the mayor who compares the dangerous, failed doctrine of socialism to being neighborly.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Here he is celebrating giving illegal immigrants driver's licenses.
It's done.
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
And behind every male lefty losing it is an even loopier woman losing it. And here is Mrs. Gwen Walz saying that criminals should be given as many chances as they need.
Having a chance every day. Like, how many chances do you get? My answer to that is as many chances as you need, which doesn't really please those law and order people.
Yes, those awful law and order people who want to put criminals in jail while your husband back those who want to defund the police. So the same media that for close to 4 years called Kamala Harris ineffective, unpopular and a major liability for the Biden White House is now telling you that she's enormously competent and a popular leader. And it's clear they also have their DNC talking points on her running mate, Tim Walz. The socialist Minnesota governor is not some hard left radical. No. He's a cuddly warrior.
What does Walz bring to this?
He's cuddly. A cuddly.
Cuddly.
Cuddly? I think she went for maybe a little more of a cuddly choice.
It tells more about the texture of the man. He seems to almost have a twinkle in his eye.
Tim Walz is the opposite of weird.
Tim Walz beats America.
He sounds like, a football coach.
He's a hunter that you could visit with at the hardware store. In a dictionary, if you had weird and anti-weird, you'd have Tim Walz's picture there.
I bet knows how to make a good hot dish casserole. He's very down to earth.
That's his authenticity.
Authentic communicator. The word joy came up a lot. He's joyful.
He seems happy.
A happy-go-lucky warrior.
And he's happy and a happy warrior.
The joyful warrior. He is one happy warrior.
A happy warrior.
He's cuddly, he's happy, he's a warrior, but I wonder, is he affable with a folksy vibe?
Reliable.
Definitely affable.
He is an extremely affable individual. Very affable, plain-speaking way, a folksy vibe. This folksy idea.
Terrific vibe.
Vibes election. Kind of a folksy guy.
Yes, I know what you're thinking, but surely they won't describe the most far-left governor in the country who put tampons in boys' bathrooms, who backed BLM riots, who gave driver's licenses to illegal immigrants and vowed to provide ladders to help them climb over any border wall that Trump builds. Surely no one would describe this radical as a safe, moderate choice.
The idea that Tim Walz is some lefty is just not true.
I don't think either of them are Bernie Sanders progressive. A rather safe pick. I think a safe pick.
The safe choice. This is a do no harm pick. Do no harm.
He's just more of a vanilla pick.
Those outside of Pittsburgh loves Tim Walz. So talk about Walz.
Yes, Walz, Joe Walz. And while we're on Joe and Mika and their god-awful MSNBC show, let's have a look at this embarrassing bit of grovelling and hero worship from Mike Barnacle. Get your buckets ready. He's about to deliver some sickly sweet hyperbole.
Watching the coach, and I'm going to call him the coach from now until Election Day, watching the coach yesterday and watching the vice president yesterday, it was mesmerizing in the sense that it's been a while since I've seen a rally like that, either on TV or in person. And watching it, you could just sense the power in the hall. And it was the power of joy, the power of laughter, the power of hope for the future. It's been a long time since any aspect of American politics has put a smile on anyone's face. And these two people yesterday managed to put a smile on the nation's face.
Mesmerizing, joyful, put a smile on the nation's face. Let's have a look at Harris and Walz together.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh dear. Let's end Lefties losing it with the hilarious Tim Dillon and his unique analysis on why Kamala Harris is the perfect candidate.
That's right. That's right.
This is the campaign. These are the policies. This is what you're going to get. These are the policies. This is what you're voting. You're voting for this. They have their perfect candidate. Half Indian, half black, attractive woman. Every billionaire on earth, this is, if you were going to build a robot in a lab that would be secretly controlled by billionaires, it is Kamala Harris. If Kamala Harris did not exist, billionaires would have to invent her. Half Indian, half black, attractive woman, childless. She's a career, or should I say bish, B-I-S-H. Kamala Harris would have to be invented if she did not already exist. She is hollow in the best way, meaning certain people, when they are hollow, there is something deeply uneasy about them because some of them would want to not be hollow. There is some humanity in them that is trying to escape. Kamala is so at home with her hollowness. She has been eaten by ambition. It is stage 4. It has gone to the brain. It is that laughter. It is that kind of, she is perfectly comfortable with being used as a tool by other people.
That's it from me tonight. I'll see you Sunday morning for Outsiders. Good night.